Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. Our first story could possibly be classified as a strange news, but we will leave that up to you. Let's start out with Colin with a report on unusual situation in Florida.
The National Weather Service warned people of rain, snow, or hail, but with lower temperatures in South Florida, something new is falling from the sky. Residents have noticed that iguanas have been falling from the trees as the temperatures drop between the 30s and 40s. Because iguanas are cold-blooded, the cold weather is very dangerous to them, but the temperatures will be returning to normal on Wednesday. The fallen iguanas aren't dangerous to humans, but they can damage sidewalks, foliage, and dig lengthy tunnels under the ground.
Governor Phil Murphy has stepped up to lead the nation as he had signed a new law banning the sale of flavored vapes. Michelle has the details.
Governor Phil Murphy signed legislation this week to make New Jersey the first state in the nation to impose a permanent ban on flavored vape products. The legislation prohibits the sale and distribution of flavored vape products. According to the press release submitted by the governor's office, the legislature passed the bill based on a recommendation from Governor Murphy's Electric Smoking Device Task Force. As governor, I am first and foremost charged with protecting the health and safety of our people, said Governor Murphy. The CDC has identified the problems associated with vaping and use-associated lung injuries. State legislatures who signed the bill banning flavored vapes focused on the potential hazards of nicotine. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is just as harmful as that of traditional cigarettes, said Assemblywoman Carol Murphy.
Now it's time for announcements. Yesterday, the wrestling team scored a big win over Somerville High School with a score of 43-33. Outstanding performances were turned in by Angel Mejia, Julian Cullen, Patrick Nevins. Friends Club meeting today after school in room 3. Anime Club meeting Thursday, January 23rd after school in room 105. Support the class of 2021. Send your special RPHS student a sweet motivational treat for their midterm. Pre-order box treats attached with a sweet message for your favorite test taker. Candy can be picked up after school in front of lobby after their exam. $3 each, and candy choices include Starburst, Sugar Babies, Sour Patch Kids, and M&Ms, and Nerds. Exam grams can be purchased during lunches next week or pre-order forms are in the office. Future Health Careers Club will be having a special guest speaker on Friday, February 7th during 4th period. A registered nurse who works as a forensic nurse for sexual assault team at the county prosecutor's office will be speaking. If you would like to attend this program, you must see Mrs. Haddad to sign up. Art Club and National Art Honor Society will be meeting Fridays after school in room 102 during the school year. We are working on projects and sometimes exploring new media. Join us. Girls, if If you're motivated and interested in challenging and rewarding experience, you may want to check out the scholarship program. There is a registration fee of $150. You must possess a demonstrated talent and have at least a C+ average. So if you want to have some fun, improve your self-esteem, build confidence and discipline, you may want to take a look at this program. Please see your counselor for the brochure. Wands for Wildlife. Recycle and save life. The Ecology Club is collecting old mascara wands. The wands will be donated to a wildlife rehabilitation nonprofit refuge who uses the old mascara wands to help remove the fly eggs and larvae from the fur of animals. They work great because the bristles are so close together and gentle to use on the injured and orphaned wild animals receiving care. You can help to save the wildlife. Drop off all the old mascara wands in room 1100.
With midterms coming up, it's important to use your time wisely. Here are some tips for midterm review. And make sure you don't procrastinate.
When it comes to Uber or Lyft, you never know who will pick you up. But recently in Florida, a group of friends received quite a surprise when their Lyft driver arrived. Colin has the story.
4 Florida passengers were in shock when the actor Will Smith answered their Lyft call and gave them a ride around the town in a Porsche Taycan. Smith was in Miami for the promotion of his new movie, Bad Boys for Life, over the weekend. He occasionally got in his role of his movie character, Detective Mike Lowry, and also encouraged his passengers to do their best bad boy impression as his partner in crime. When one of the passengers revealed that his girlfriend watched the original movie weekly, Smith made him FaceTime her. He also had one of his passengers practice her scariest "freeze, police" voice before he dropped them off. He told his passengers that they would receive free rides from the ride-sharing company for the next year.
Our final story this morning should come as no surprise to anyone. Derek Jeter has been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Michelle has the report.
If you are a baseball fan or not, you probably have heard one way or another about the New York Yankees' Derek Jeter. Last Tuesday, Jeter was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame's ballot for the first time ever. He received 396 out of 397 votes, or 99.7%. But with one vote missing, many are asking who was the single person who didn't vote for Jeter. Unfortunately, we may never find out. The voters all have the right to remain anonymous, so the 0.3% will remain a mystery. Despite this, Derek Jeter is receiving the recognition he deserves. Every accolade that has been bestowed on Derek throughout his career has been earned and deserved, Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner said. He was a captain and champion in every sense of the word, a man who embodied our traditions and expectations with an unmistakable grace and dignified resolve. Derek's legacy as one of the most beloved and charitable players in the last quarter century cements his place in baseball history. As he is immortalized in Cooperstown this summer, we proudly reflect on the honor he brought the Yankees franchise. the New York community, and the great game of baseball.
Thanks for watching, have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
A treaty, a trial, and a treat made from thin air are today's topics on CNN 10. So glad you could join us this Wednesday. My name is Carl Azus. With the impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump going on right now in the Senate, we're taking a look at the role of the person who's presiding over that trial, Chief Justice John Roberts. His official title is Chief Justice of the United States. He's the highest-ranking judge in America. And though his main job is leading the Supreme Court, he's got a new responsibility in the Senate's impeachment trial of presiding over that as well. It's required by the U.S. Constitution. In fact, the only time the phrase Chief Justice appears in America's governing document is when it describes his role in the Senate's impeachment trials of presidents. Chief Justice Roberts' power in that trial is limited. Any rulings he makes could be voted down and overridden by senators. And while it's unknown exactly how much of a role he'll play in the trial, something he said during his confirmation hearing in 2005 could give us a clue. He compared judges to umpires, saying they don't make the rules, they apply them.
I will remember that it's my job to call balls and strikes and not to pitch or bat.
Yesterday, he walked across the street from the U.S. Supreme Court to the U.S. Senate to take on his new and somewhat different responsibility.
In this class photo of the men and women in black, one justice sits smiling front and center. But Chief Justice John Roberts will soon leave his natural habitat at the sedate Supreme Court and move to the political minefield of the Senate as he presides over the trial of the president.
When he's over at the Supreme Court overseeing that body, he's actually a judge. He's casting votes, he's deciding cases. When he is at the Senate, he's not casting a vote for or against Donald Trump. He's presiding over a trial.
The Constitution itself is vague on his job description, saying only this: the Chief Justice shall preside.
And I'm now ready to take the oath.
His one-time mentor, Chief Justice William Rehnquist, took a hands-off approach to the job when he sat on the dais throughout Bill Clinton's impeachment.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
2 decades later, Mitch McConnell makes it clear he'd like Roberts to stick to the same script.
I would anticipate the Chief Justice would not actually make any rulings. He would simply submit motions to the body, and we would vote.
That's probably just fine with Roberts.
John Roberts is naturally reserved. John Roberts is very much concerned about appearances and the judiciary looking impartial. I cannot imagine John Roberts having any incentive to intervene in the business of the Senate in a way that would look like he was actually controlling the fate of Donald Trump.
10-second trivia. Which of these ships sank in April of 1912? RMS Titanic, SS Eastland, RMS Lusitania, or Endurance? All of these ships sank in 1915 except the Titanic, which was lost on April 15, 1912. A British government minister says the wreck of the Titanic is the most documented maritime tragedy in history. On the night of April 14th, when the so-called unsinkable ship hit the iceberg that caused it to sink, Titanic was on its maiden voyage from the United Kingdom to the United States. Now, those two countries have ratified a treaty that's intended to protect the ship's remains. The law gives Britain and America the power to grant or deny licenses for explorers to send submersibles inside the wreckage and to remove any artifacts they find outside of it. British officials say this will ensure that the Titanic is treated with the sensitivity and respect it deserves. But that wreck, as it sits now, won't stay that way forever. Images from a recent dive there show the ship is sinking deeper into the ocean floor and being corroded by bacteria there.
First impressions, it's big. It is a big wreck. I wasn't fully ready for just how large it was.
The future of the wreck is going to continue to deteriorate over time. It's a natural process. These are natural types of bacteria.
A type of protein powder being produced by a company in Finland is making headlines. It's said to save space, save the environment, and potentially feed masses of people. But there are a number of concerns about it. For one thing, it's grown in a laboratory. It takes heavy machinery to produce it, and building those machines with concrete and steel can have a negative environmental impact. The protein powder hasn't been approved yet for human consumption, and critics say it can't produce enough food to feed enough people at a good enough price. But that's not stopping Solar Foods from moving forward.
It's not often that scientists gather around multi-million-dollar machinery to eat pancakes. But today is that day.
We're doing that just for fun every now and then.
The team, however, isn't just in it for the fun. They say they're making an entirely new ingredient out of thin air using this, and it could revolutionize how food is made. Whether it's the crops that grow from it, or the cattle that live on it, the ground is crucial in creating what we eat. But agriculture is one of the world's largest sources of greenhouse gases. That's why, in Helsinki, the company is trying to remove land from the equation. Pasi Vanika is the CEO of Solar Foods, a startup that says it's developing a new natural source of protein called Solein. Like other protein supplements, it has no discernible taste and can be added to almost any snack or meal. But unlike competitors, Vanika says Solein's production process has almost no carbon footprint.
We don't use plants and animals. So we are bringing a new kind of harvest that is produced through fermentation.
The process starts here, with a direct air capture system that's designed to harness carbon dioxide. Regular air is pulled from this vent into one of 8 drums, which are then heated to release water and CO2. Simultaneously, this electrolyzer produces hydrogen by using electricity to split water. But Solar Foods says this is where the magic happens.
This is the main step, basically a standard fermentation tank.
Here, gases are mixed with microbes, along with a few other elements, continuously.
So it's a bit like a treadmill. Basically the cells need to be running, but they are not actually getting anywhere.
Even though this 200-liter tank looks complicated, most of these valves and pipes are just there to measure and monitor the machine.
Quite a lot of complexity comes to the structure because of the steam sterilization. So we have to be sure that what we are growing is just the organism that we want to grow.
This drum dryer is the last piece of the puzzle. Liquid gets heated to about 140 degrees Celsius, leaving just this powder behind.
When we disconnect the food production from agriculture, which means land use and the climate and weather, it means that we can go to produce food everywhere. We can go to the desert or to the Arctic or even to space.
Solar Foods is currently working with the European Space Agency on a way for astronauts to use Solein while in orbit. But before leaving this planet, the team plans on making 50 million meals by 2021. But until then, you might just occasionally find them perfecting their pancakes.
At least we like them, and let's see if the first product on the shelf would be pancake.
Last weekend, Newfoundland, Canada got more snowfall than at any other time in its recorded history. It was over people's heads in some places. That's why Lola Parsons was confused at first about why her car wasn't buried. Then she looked inside it. Parsons had left a window open and the snow blew into her car instead of around it. There was so much she couldn't fit inside. The good-natured Canadian just laughed it off. And while we don't know the car brand, we're guessing it was a Ford Fiesta, a Chill Lincoln, a Lotus Elise, a Get Out of Dodge, a McFrozen P1, a Nissan Maximize, an Oldsmobile Aurora Borealis, a Toyota Prius, a Bugatti Gelato, a Porsche Ice Boxster, a Yugo Somewhere Warmer, anything by Polaris, or an Alpine. All right, today's show started in Washington, D.C. We're ending in Washington State with a royal recognition of Linwood High School. Thank you guys for watching from Linwood and for commenting on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CNN10. I'm Carl Azus.